Hello and welcome. I'm Juliet McGrattan, your host for this empowerment talk. 261 Fearless is a global women's network that uses running to unite and empower women all around the world. And we're passionate about improving the health and well-being of women. And we really believe that education is key to empowerment. So we use our global platform to present our 261 Fearless Empowerment Talks to you. These are interviews with women in roles of leadership in the world of business, sport, and health. And our guests inform us, they inspire us, they motivate us, and we really want to share their wisdom and their expertise with you. Now, we love to feature women who have made their way along paths that are perhaps more traditionally male-dominated. And today's guest, Lisa Csenar, is a perfect example of someone who has done exactly this. Now, I'm really excited to talk to her. I want to hear all about how she became a nationally ranked cyclist, but I also want to hear about her work in sustainability. Because Lisa she works as head of project development and acquisition of wind and photovoltaic projects at VERBUND, which is Austria's leading electricity company. So we've got a lot to learn and explore here. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for joining us and welcome, Lisa.
Thank you very much.
I just want to kind of dive straight in before we get to sustainability and just hear a little bit about your sport side of things. So can you tell us about your love of cycling, how it started and where it took you?
Yeah, of course. Thank you. It was a bit unusual when I was a child to do cycling for a woman, but my dad has always been a passionate cyclist. And due to his father, he wasn't allowed to participate in bicycle races because they had a grocery, and the grandfather always wanted him to work there and not go for a bicycle ride. And so my dad always tried that we three children could do the sports. Where he always supported us while doing sports or for doing sports. And he also organized international cycling races lasting for some days. And the whole family was working in the race organization in our spare time. And when I was 15, then I decided to start racing myself instead of organizing the numbers for the races. And since then, I'm a race cyclist. I participated in professional races when I was studying. But since I started work, I'm more like an amateur. But I still love cycling. And for me, it's kind of my burnout prevention to go for a ride.
Yeah, I think running does that for lots of people, and cycling, it's very therapeutic as the wheels are turning, isn't it?
It's well, that's fun.
That's fantastic. I mean, I guess it's not so common for women to come through that journey in cycling, and maybe you felt, particularly in your family, you were a bit of a trailblazer. What drives you to make change?
Yeah, there were some experiences in the past. Yeah, when I started cycling, for example, the president of the Austrian Cycling Federation told me not to start it, as to his opinion, cycling is no sport for girls. Yeah, but his statement didn't stop me. Instead, it supported me. It confirmed my way. So what I experienced in this situation repeated very often in my life. Yeah. For example, then in my professional career, I wanted to build a small wind power plant. And therefore, also my boss asked me, Mrs. Lisa, are you really able to do that? And I said, yes, and I did it, so that the wind park is planned now and it's producing energy. So this situation recurred many times in my last years, yeah, and also in my business career. But yeah, it's always fortifying me and not stopping me.
Yeah, that's wonderful, isn't it? What you learn and how you develop in sport is so translatable to other areas of your life.
Yes, of
well,
course.
You've given me
never give up.
a perfect, I never give up, exactly, yeah. But you've given me a perfect segue, as we call it, into renewable energy then. I wanted to speak quite at length about that, really. And first of all, just a basic question. What does renewable energy really mean? What counts as renewable energy? Where do we get it from?
Mhm. Yeah, renewable energy I would define it as energy from a resource that is not depleted when it's used, yeah, such as wind or solar power, the ocean, biomass, or geothermal resources. Yeah, they are not depleted after used, and that's I would say, the definition for it. Yeah.
Definition. And how
Mm.
did you get interested in working in that area?
Mhm. I think one aspect was cycling, of course, because when you go cycling, you always check the wind. You
Oh
always
yeah.
check where's the forewind or the backwind, yeah. And so I decided my routes, yeah, my training routes, yeah. And so I always had somehow some relationship with the wind, yeah. And then when I was studying, I was first studied international economics, and I also came there to the department of environmental management, it was called at that time. And so I got some relationship to the energy and I also moved to the south of Vienna, where there's a big energy utility has its headquarters. And I always passed by, and I don't know, once I told my husband I want to work there. Yeah, and so I started in the energy business, and it never left me. It's somehow my passion, yeah, to. And I think one aspect is also that I'm a very energizing person, or I have a lot of energy, and perhaps that's also a reason for working in this segment, in this.
Maybe you're a renewable source. You've got endless energy.
Yes, at least very much.
I was looking at the VERBUND website, and I was surprised to read that pretty much 100% of the electricity that they generate comes from hydropower, from the water. Now, I know you manage wind and solar power as photovoltaic. I think that's solar power. Do you see those as much more important in the future for renewable energy, or is it still going to be from the source of water?
I think we need all sources of renewable energy. We won't fight the climate change by just doing the hydropower thing. Yeah, we would need all kinds of renewable energy sources so that we can achieve our goals. Yeah, because all of us needs everybody of us needs more and more energy every day, and we should reduce the thermal energy. So yeah, we need also all sources of renewable energy sources. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what can we do personally to sort of support renewable energy?
In my case, what I experience, support projects and not fighting them. Yeah, because we have a lot of fighting and interfering. Everybody's telling me, yes, you can do wind power plants, but not in my backyard. It's always the NIMBY, yeah? NIMBY aspect. Yeah, everybody thinking from here to here and not in a global aspect. Yeah, and especially in Austria, you often hear the argument, yeah, we have already a water power plant, so that's enough. Yeah. But there are areas in Austria where where you have the possibility to do water power plants, and you have also the areas for wind, which are where there is wind, yeah. And we should use all of our resources, of our renewable resources. So and not always telling each other that we shouldn't do it here. We need them, otherwise we should. Another important thing also is, of course, to save energy, but nobody wants to hear that, yeah, to reduce anything, yeah. So the best thing would be to, the minimum would be to not fight or interfere in our processes, because our processes take such a long time. At the moment when I start a wind project, I must calculate about 10 years, and that's horrible.
Wow.
Yes. It's
Wow, that
really,
is a
really
long
horrible. So we
time.
cannot achieve our Austrian goals to be just in renewable energy in 2030. That's impossible. But nobody
And
tells it. Nobody
is that
talks about
10
it.
years from deciding that you want a plant in a certain position to actually creating electricity
Yes.
from that? Yeah.
Yes. if it's not improving in the next years, yeah, that's still a way.
Wow, gosh. Apart from opposition from people and planning applications and things, what other challenges do you think we face as a nation when it comes to, or as a world really, when it comes to renewable energy?
To my mind, the 1.5 Celsius degree goal, we can't achieve it anymore. That's over. We can be luckily if we have the 2 degrees Celsius goal. So because we are still every day we are just talking what we should do, but nobody is doing anything. Yeah, we need to hurry up, but not next year, tomorrow. Or the better would be to do it today. So and especially in Austria, each municipality, each village must define areas where we can do renewable energy projects and not where we can't do them. Yeah, everybody must do his part and must participate. Otherwise, we will focus a global warming, a very horrible global warming with horrible effects. Yeah, to my mind.
Do those small initiatives, say you were working in villages, do those small initiatives make a big change overall?
To my mind, yes, of course, because the decentralization of the production is also is good for the networks. Yeah, for the energy distribution network would be better to distribute it more. So, and to my mind, everybody has to do his part. Yeah, and we have to spread and use all the resources we have to fight the climate change.
As a woman working in this area, do you think there's something in particular that women have to bring to this agenda and to this future?
To my mind, it's difficult to say women have these characteristics, men have these. To my mind, everybody has his or her qualities, and you need to find them out and foster them. And especially for this working area, you should be used to resistance, and you should be very endurable. You shouldn't give up easily. So you need for renewable energy, you need endurance types and not sprinters, for example. Speaking in sports, but what I sometimes noticed working with women is that they are sometimes more focused on finding solutions and trade-offs to foster the project than playing strategic power games like men sometimes do. Yeah, they want to foster the project and not some management strategic plays. Yeah.
I can definitely see why long distance cycling and not giving up, like you said at the beginning, are needed in your work. Wow. Yeah. What a translatable skill. I mean, what advice would you have for women who are listening and think, oh no, I would like to work in that area like you did, walking past that plant and saying I want to work there? What advice would you have?
To my mind, this area is so exciting and so important for our future. If you develop renewable energy systems now, you ensure that the next generation will find a livable environment. And so this job is so meaningful, so reasonable. And besides the activities, so the activities each day you have to do, they vary so very much. So you're never bored because every day is different. One time you negotiate with a landowner, the other day you prepare documents for the permitting, or you do public hearings, also giving the public the information about the project. So each working day is totally different. And that's, for me, it's so exciting. Yeah. And it's a good thing. That's the most important. And the best days when the wind turbines you planned are delivered.
Yeah,
that's then really the best day.
A job with a mission and a purpose, isn't it? For
yes,
the future,
definitely.
which is And having worked in sport, you know, from setting up international cycling events with your dad and tying in the work that you do now, what do you think we need to do in the area of sport and climate change? What difference can we make ourselves, or perhaps in bigger events that we go to?
For example, what I also do is try to leave the car and go to the office by bike, and not going to the fitness center with the car and then using the elevator. Okay, and so to my mind, you should also do your sport routine, integrate your sport routine in your daily routine, and use car as less as possible, as few as possible. Yeah, to my mind. Yeah, leave it in the garage and integrate it. Yeah, and this is also what I learned from my parents. My parents, we grew up in a small village, and my mother rode by bike to work every day. My dad went by train or by bike, and they only used the car in the weekend. And for me, that's was a role model and important. And yeah, I think everybody should do small steps to help against climate change. Yeah.
Yeah, all those small steps add up, don't they?
Yeah.
Going back to another trailblazer, a little bit like yourself, and thinking about Catherineitzer. I know you have some links with Catherineitzer and 261 Fearless. Can you share for our listeners and viewers what those are?
Last year, I was asked to participate in the marketing campaign with Edith Tuschmann. And when I first heard, the story of Catherineitzer, I was totally impressed. Yeah? She was so brave and showed us you can do it if you want. Try it and let nobody hinder you. And I also found some parallels to my life. As I told you before, when I started cycling, they told me I shouldn't do it. And I also experienced the same when I started playing ice hockey, which is what I also do. And I couldn't skate at all in the beginning. And some male trainers didn't want to play me with them and didn't want to get me better. But I didn't give up. And so I managed to improve. And so I have some really parallels with her life to my mind. So for me, she's also, again, a role model, and very cool.
Yes. And someone else who's shown how endurance and keeping going and not giving up.
Yeah, and not giving up, yes.
Yeah, leads to success. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for your support for 261 Fearless. And I watched the little video clip of the campaign that you made with 261, and it was great. It was really, really nice. So, well, thank you, Lisa. Is there anything you want to add? Any kind of message that you want to finish up with to inspire people to go and do their little bit for the world?
The message would be never give up and try things you don't know before.
Don't be afraid. Try new things. Keep going.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Keep going.
Thank you so much. It's been really interesting. I'm fascinated about the topic of renewable energy. I know it's something I need to learn more about, and this has really helped me, and I'm sure it will help everyone that's listening as well. So thank you very much for your time, and we hope to keep in touch with you.
Would be nice. Thank you.